How's it going, guys? I'm Jared and welcome back to Avalanche Reviews. And one thing you may not know about me is I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan. So when I heard developer Ninja Theory is going to be rebooting the series, needless to say I was more than a little excited. But can this new developer deliver that true Devil May Cry experience that we've all grown to know and love? Let's find out in my review with DMC. DMC's story takes place in Limbo City, a place where demons secretly control the populace through debt, advertising, surveillance, and the news media. You play as Dante, the product of a forbidden love affair between an angel and a demon. Dante lives outside a brainwashed society and as such is constantly hunted by demons. After a night of drinking and threesome having, Dante is confronted with one such demon. All that in a hangover.
Get your filthy fucking claw off my trailer!
During his fight with the Hunter, Dante is pulled into Limbo, a demonic alternate dimension that exists on top of our own. In Limbo, Dante receives help from Kat, a psychic medium who can project herself into the demonic world.
If I pull the trigger,
I'll die.
Kat belongs to a terrorist organization called The Order, a group hell-bent on exposing the demons to the world and freeing Limbo from their control. Her boss Virgil is a man who's been waging war with the demons through social activism, propaganda, and the occasional bombing. Virgil explains the demons are led by Mundus, their king in human form. Mundus controls most of the world through debt, and keeps the populace blind to this fact with the aid of a brainwashing agent found in the world's most popular soft drink and a corrupt news network. There are also events in Dante's past that ties him and Virgil to Mundus, but I won't spoil anything for you newcomers. As you can assume, it's not long till Dante agrees to help the Order bring down Mundus and his demon empire. I have to say I'm pretty impressed by DMC's story. Ninja Theory was able to take the current Devil May Cry universe and put it in a more dark and modern setting without destroying continuity. The events in DMC feel like a mirror of current events, and the game's characters seem to be digital representations of real-life groups, organizations, or individuals. In the original 4 games, we were only given brief glimpses into Dante's past, and this worked because the old Dante had a mysterious charm to him. The new Dante is given a much more fleshed-out background story, and Team Ninja chose to build on this by having it explain his rebellious nature and fuck you attitude. And speaking of Dante, rest assured, this is still the Dante we all know and love. Although he may look different, Dante is still a cocky, witty, and overall badass demon slayer.
I just seem to drag on forever. Church.
DMC's story also benefits from some top-notch, and I mean top-notch voice acting. Everyone's lines are well acted and well read, but Team Ninja paid special attention to Dante. His voice matched his personality perfectly.
I'm your prom date, you ugly sack of shit!
And I can honestly say that DMC ranks up there with some of the most well voice acted games I've ever played.
if you want to leave, turn your back on me, I'm powerless to stop you. But you'll be making a grave mistake.
I know Devil May Cry fans were worried about their favorite series being handled by a different developer, but rest assured Team Ninja paid respect to the original narrative by making sure their story is more than just an homage to it. It's an improvement.
Missed.
Let's face it, we all know what to expect from a Devil May Cry game, and I'm thrilled to say it's all here. Combat in DMC feels as tight and balanced as any game in the series, and the emphasis on over-the-top, spectacle-driven combos is back with a vengeance. Even some of the more expert gameplay mechanics like jump canceling remain intact. Dante also seems to control much more smoothly than previous entries, especially when jumping and dashing. This of course means the return of platforming segments, which I'm not gonna lie, are really fun. The increase in fluidity makes these sections just the right combination of fun and challenging. Much like the third game in the series, you are free to go back and replay past levels, and you're probably going to want to, as each level has secrets that can only be reached with the aid of abilities gained in future levels. Personally, I have no problem with backtracking, but if you're not like me, don't worry, these secret areas are completely optional. Speaking of optional, challenge rooms are back, and while they're not as difficult as ones found in previous games, they are a good way to level up for those unwilling to backtrack. You'll find these rooms scattered throughout levels, but they can only be opened with keys found in hidden areas off the beaten path, and as you progress in the game, these keys become harder and harder to find. There are of course other ways to level up. Dante can learn combos, special moves, and abilities with points gained from stylish and varied combos, discovering secrets, and your rank at the end of each level. You can also buy healing or health increasing items with red orbs awarded for killing enemies. As a veteran of the Devil May Cry series, I was surprised to find that the ability to lock on enemies had been omitted from this entry, and I was even more surprised at how well the combat worked without it. The shoulder buttons are instead used to cycle through weapons. This leaves a lot of room for creativity when chaining combos together. Other console action games could learn a thing or two from DMC about auto-targeting. No matter how hectic the action gets, Dante will hit the enemy you want him to more often than not. In fact, the only problem I have with DMC's gameplay is the difficulty. The game was just a little too easy for me at first. I'm sure they had the more casual gamer in mind when deciding this, but luckily this is remedied by setting the game to hard mode. I could go off on a rant here about dumbing down a challenging series to placate to a less niche audience, but as long as I can get rewarding gameplay out of the hard mode, why not share the fun with the, how should I put this, less experienced gamers. My second issue with the game are the boss fights. Even on hard mode they're a breeze. You'll typically find much more challenge in the levels leading up to the boss than the boss fight itself. But I can't complain too much about this either. Regardless of how easily the patterns can be identified, bosses are still a blast to fight.
Know what your problem is? You're too clingy.
Rebooting a franchise as well loved as Devil May Cry is a very easy thing to fuck up, but luckily Ninja Theory recognized this and made sure to stay true to the gameplay we all know and love. The characters may be unfamiliar and the story reworked, but when you pick up the controller there's one thing for sure, Devil May Cry is back, and better than ever. Okay, let's go ahead and get this out of the way first. Yes, Dante looks different. Please try not to commit suicide because of this life-altering news. I remember the comment section for the first DMC teaser trailer as being the largest collection of straight men talking about a man's hair I've ever seen before.
Not in a million years.
I understand that you can get pretty attached to a character, but seeing how this is a reboot of the series, I think we can all get past the main character looking a little different. With that out of the way, let me say this. Wow, DMC is an amazing looking game. As a matter of fact, there are so many graphically impressive aspects of the game, I struggle to make sure I haven't left any out. Let's start with the main characters. Dante, Virgil, and Kat look great. They are modeled very well and animate smoothly, especially when it comes to facial animation. I applaud Team Ninja's decision to motion capture every main character's voice actor while delivering their lines.
I'm still in the real world, you're in limbo.
Some of the more serious dialogue scenes may have had much less of an impact if they weren't acted by some well-established Hollywood talent. It's clear to see that DMC's graphical fidelity received a huge amount of attention, and nowhere is this more evident than in its environments, each of which looks stunning and varied. Since Limbo is a twisted version of our own world, you'll see a lot of warped landscapes and twisted architecture. I assume somewhere in Team Ninja there's a concept artist who's very pleased with himself. One environment that really demonstrates this is the prison area located in the reflection cast by the Raptor News Network on a lake. Everything in this area is upside down, and the dark and oppressive atmosphere gives off a very Silent Hill vibe. Some of DMC's cutscenes are presented in this beautiful painted art style, and I love these segments. I found myself marveling at the way multiple layers were used to give the illusion of animation. As if DMC wasn't already an impressive graphical showcase, it also manages to shine aesthetically. Every small aspect of the game's look has been designed and executed perfectly. Menus are functional and interesting. The inclusion of animated examples of combos and special moves are a really nice touch as well. Little things like the flash of a hit connecting or the dust and debris created from an enemy slamming into the environment all remain subtle and impressive. It took me a while to notice this, but Dante's life bar is actually a spray-painted stencil. And I also love the look of the combo counter. It has this old monochrome 3D effect and gives off a very stylish look and feel. DMC is a perfect example of how well a game can look when the aesthetics are given just as much time and attention as the graphical presentation. To put it simply, this is how a next-gen AAA title should look. To tell you the truth, I've never really been a big fan of the numerical rating systems that a lot of reviewers tend to use in their videos, so I thought I'd try something a little different with this review and some of my thoughts with this cool little overlay. Here I'll sum up the game's pros and cons so you can get a feel of whether or not you'd like it. And here it goes. DMC is an amazing looking game. I'm glad to see a next-gen title straight from the gunmetal color spectrum, and I love the attention to aesthetic design and facial animations. The story was also very enjoyable. Writing ranged from purposefully cheesy to very emotional, but the real pleasure was seeing the characters I know and love in a completely new light. Devil May Cry veterans will find DMC's gameplay almost unchanged, and that's a very good thing, but the lower difficulty settings and tutorial area make sure that newcomers aren't left behind. As you may have noticed, DMC left a very good impression on me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its faults. In some cutscenes I noticed small instances of texture pop in. This problem seems to be in both the PC and PS3 releases, but I can count the number of times this happened on one hand. Those familiar with previous games may find DMC a little too easy on normal mode, so make sure to set it on one of the harder difficulties when you start a new game. I'll have to be honest with you guys, I came into this with a lot of bias. I figured Ninja Theory could never deliver a true Devil May Cry game. Needless to say, I was dead wrong. This game caters to hardcore fans and newcomers alike, and that's a very rare thing in today's gaming market. So if you have the money, I'd say DMC is a solid buy. This summary section is kind of new and experimental, but I plan on incorporating it in other reviews. But I want to know what you guys think, so make sure to tell me whether or not you liked it in the comments below. And I guess that's all I have for now, but there will be more to come, so please make sure to comment and subscribe. And until then, I'm Jared.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
And this has been Avalanche Reviews. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember to check me out on Facebook or Twitter to let me know what you think about the new format. And if this is your first time watching, feel free to click on one of my other reviews here and let me know what you think. As a matter of fact, click everywhere. Work that pointer finger out. Bikini season's coming and no one likes love handles on their mouse hand.